And welcome to another News Game Plus. As usual, I'm Dermie, and I'm here with the man who definitely did not shoot any CEOs today. New Game Plus executive producer
One of my
Jake
favorite
Plant.
comments on that was still 220 million suspects at large. Like, it's one of those things, right? I'm always weary of vigilante violence because the one wrong target. You know what I mean? Like, if it's the wrong person, you've just killed someone, and we've endorsed it as a society. So I'm
That's what
always
cops in the US do every day.
right.
They're
I
like,
know, and
all right,
hundred
there you
percent. So for sure, right? But like, who's losing sleep over a dead health insurance CEO who was in charge of
go.
policy denials? It's going
I,
to be a family whose mum she had cancer, and they said, nah, there's no way we're covering that old bitch.
for
And
the first time in ages, I've genuinely enjoyed being on
united the
Twitter.
right, and united the left.
Everybody,
Yeah,
everybody has been united.
yeah.
America has come together, and Twitter's actually been a fun place today with all the comments about,
Look,
but also sad. Some of the stories, it was
yeah.
ridiculous.
I mean, look, nothing. No, Australian healthcare isn't perfect by any stretch, right? But as somebody, I try and explain this to Americans. If I was in America when I was a kid, I would not be alive now, right? I had to rely on public health to treat my cancer. I wouldn't be alive.
Well, you like Ayn Rand or something,
Well,
relying on public health system
no, but
when
I
you're
never
sick.
decried it for years beforehand. I never wrote shit novels like Atlas Shrugged and then said, "Where's my
It's a
where's
movie
my
as well,
public health?" Yeah,
actually.
yeah. Oh yeah, the Fountainhead, more like the fucking Shut Up
Yeah.
Bitch Head.
So
Like, yeah.
anyway,
But
yeah.
yeah, no. Again, I just wouldn't be alive if I was in America. So that's always my thing. Is like when everyone says, "Why do you pick on America so much?" I'm like, because again, like I say, it's interesting to me. Not that the policy platform of the Democrats should have been let's shoot CEOs, but if they were a little bit more kind of, well, maybe we'll bring these bastards to heel. Maybe we'll actually provide some value back into the market. I mean, the media would have eaten them alive even more than they already
Yeah, but the
did.
media is the aristocracy, and they
Hmm.
exist to protect the
The
kings and
fourth
queens.
estate is
And
compromised and has
and
been, especially
yeah,
in America. I mean, it's
and
bad here. Like the
they're
ABC.
they're the lords. They're there. So
Yeah,
when the king calls on them, they'll gather up the
yeah,
forces and protect them. That's what the media, and they've been
yeah.
an aristocracy for
Well,
for a long time
everyone
now.
talks about CNN, but like CNN's now owned by a hardcore Trumpy. You know what I mean? Like, but the main reason they want Trump in is because they know he's going to generate headlines. They know all the people whose lives are fucked. They're going to click them and go. It's just going to draw people to click. I don't know, man. But again, Australia's just as bad. Like Peter Dutton turns around and says, "Oh, the reason our policies haven't been costed is because of Labor." And we give him a pass on that. Like I tell you, the ABC needs to rebrand. It's no longer the ABC; it's the
That's
ABL.
it. Yeah.
ABL, anyone but Labor, and that is 100% the motto for the ABC going
The
forward.
Liberals' motto might as well be just the dog ate my homework.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and then
the
Goff is spinning in his grave. His daughter married so poorly. That's crazy to
We
me.
got to start with the
The
probably not
video
game.
game
I'll
stuff.
tell you what,
Sorry.
they could. There is a message there. I mean, the Kabbalah Big Game Hunter
Yeah.
games. CEO version of that would sell like
What do you think
hotcakes.
I was playing just before? When you called me up, the reason I said you knocked on the door, I was like,
You're
hang
playing the
on.
hunting.
I was lining up an Axis deer and I fucking missed it because
Yeah,
you knocked
like
on the door.
imagine a
God
version of
damn it.
that where you're lining up hunting and lining up the
Yeah.
CEO. Funny with that. I tell you what, I know I'm now on an FBI watch list, but
Well, I mean, look,
that'd sell.
it's one of those things, right? I was just playing again, I can talk about Mafia 3 all day on this, right? So Mafia 3, you're doing all this stuff, and the end choice of the story is really good. Like I think it's exactly what it kind of needed to be. Like it fed and sat perfectly in the morals of the time, but also was like realistic about what one man is capable of, slash what one man's legacy would be. And Sleepy Dermy's having a fight here with a bug, I
Now
think.
you got a family of mosquitoes at my leg.
Yeah, they love you. They won't touch me.
I must be tasty.
You are the. It was funny when we used to
If
film out of the garage. You would come out.
yeah,
You'd look like you're covered in
if
pimples.
we're ever like on an airplane crash like that soccer team in South
Yeah, yeah,
America,
yeah, yeah.
I'm the tastiest.
That's
Judging by
my favorite
mosquitoes.
Simpsons thing. It's like that, but we are all still alive. Pass more of the goalkeeper.
Yeah. Well, those mosquitoes, they think that we've just
It's
crashed in the
always been
Andes.
a thing. They just love
Away
you.
from me.
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah.
where we go? Yeah, so Big Game Hunter CEO edition. I think get on it. Some indie dev could do it, and it's sell like hotcakes. You make good money.
Sniper
Uh,
Elite did Hitler. I mean, we're not far off it. And again, Mafia, you took out corrupt judges and you took out corrupt politicians and all that kind of stuff. Like you staunched them on a boat and all this. And
Well, yeah, I think there's an opportunity there to make a game. I just think that the message from reading Twitter today, with everybody being absolutely gleeful
Yeah.
about what happened. Um, so some of the comments, some of the shit posting today
I
has been
think I,
fun,
I
but
think I think sometimes they need to sometimes the wealthy classes need to be reminded that they're still flesh and blood, and whatever format that takes, I think is
you notice when that happens though, and it happened when Trump got shot.
yeah,
I know we're not talking
shot
about
at
this.
shot at
Apologies for everybody. We're not doing it. But when Trump, notice they all come out, even the people that hate him, are like, oh, everyone's got to calm down and be civil. And even Pelosi, they were going, oh, it's sad that someone tried to shoot Donald Trump. She didn't really mean it, but they're all saying it. The reason being because they're terrified because they know that. Remember when Joker, the first Joker, came
yeah
out, and the massive backlash to it in the media, because the media being the aristocracy and
yeah.
worrying about their masters, that was because they all know that it wouldn't take much
Nah. Well, I mean,
for that to actually
Pelosi's
tip
husband got
over.
his fucking head caved in with a hammer. You know what I mean? Like, and that's
Yeah, and that story just went away. Nobody
yeah
wanted to talk about it afterwards. But
yeah
yeah, they know that could happen. Anyway, Kabbalah Big Game Hunter CEO version.
yeah.
Get onto a game devs because judging by the fun on Twitter today,
Yeah, yeah.
that's a market.
Instead of being judged on how many points their horns have, so that's how it works with buck hunting. They rate it on the
CEOs have
how
horns.
many points the horns have, right? If you look at it, it's like how many Panamanian, Swiss, Canary Islands bank accounts they have, Virgin Islands for the British, and how many of those bank accounts they have, and every single bank account counts as a point.
Mm.
That's how you judge it.
Well, let's do less depressing game news.
Your boy Malcolm would be on that list. Just saying.
I
Now
like
we're on a list.
I like Milky, but yes, yeah. Well, you like we're not on a list already.
True, true, true.
Anyway, so now game news. So the game you'll get more about this. A game called X Defiant, a Ubisoft game that they were hoping. It's another Concord sort of thing got shut down.
Yeah.
They're all shooting. I've got some numbers for later in the podcast about probably why, but they're all desperately shooting for another Fortnite style live
Yeah.
service game. But X Defunct's the latest one to shut down. It looks
X
like it's
defunct. I
taken
like that.
what do I call
It's
it?
defiant, but
X
X
Defunct.
defunct is pretty good.
That's my eyes.
Like that. That's a classic. Yeah, yeah.
Freudian thing there. I think there's something like 270 devs got laid off as part of that when it went
Two hundred
belly up.
seventy-seven.
Yeah, well,
And
there you go.
yeah, so
You and your
Ubisoft,
fucking numbers.
Ubisoft Osaka, and Ubisoft another one it's one of the American ones,
Yeah.
and then Sydney's getting ramped down as
There's
well.
burning through developers while they're
Yeah.
trying to make another Fortnite. And actually, like I said, I've got some numbers for why they're doing
Mhm.
that later. So, Ubisoft keeps trying this. Now they still have their Rainbow Six games in the division that still get played, but I mean, their share price is apparently tanked after this. How long until
Their
like 10-cent buys
so
it and stuff?
their share price is the same as it was in 2011, and if you look at any of the gaming stocks, even Rockstar, all that kind of stuff, like 2K, none of them are the same level as they were. Like, unless you can see where it spiked in 2019, which was when they were at 17, 2019, when they were at the peak of their recent resurgence. That was Rainbow Six peak era. That was For Honor peak era. That was when they had like lots of these really cool, interesting titles coming out. But yeah, since Yves Guillemot stopped Vivendi from buying them out and kept it in family hands, I don't know, man. Someone either has to have the purse strings pulled on him, or he's just back because all they're doing again, it's this
They're all they're all gambling. They're all
yeah, they're
gambling at
gambling
the
with
moment.
house money, exactly right.
Yeah.
And so I
Okay, I'll jump onto why.
because someone said the other day they were like, oh, the share price hasn't gone up, blah blah blah. I would argue I don't see a world where Ubisoft you don't get your value for money. You buy it's €10 at the moment. It peaked at €43. I think, look, I'm not a stock market analyst and don't take this as financial advice, but I don't know, man. I think there'd be a little bit of value in there. Like even if you got bought by Tencent, they're going to suddenly be able to regulate that and bring it back up to a profit. I don't know. I feel like he's worried that he's going to get bought out from under him. And he's right to think that at that lower share price. But I wouldn't be surprised if it does happen if there's like a hostile takeover.
The whole game industry is basically a bunch of Hail Marys trying to get a
Yeah.
Fortnite. Now, okay, I'm jumping to it now because I was going to save it till later, but this is why, if anybody's wondering, here's some little numbers from 2023. So it's a little bit old now, but still,
Well, it's
the
last year, but yeah.
the video game. Yeah, you're right. Actually, yeah, how about that?
That's not knowing numbers. That's just knowing what year it is.
I didn't
Sleepy Dermy
I didn't
doesn't even
sleep
know
as
what
long as
year
I
it
thought I
is.
did.
Yeah,
How
yeah,
about
yeah.
that? So,
Rip Van Winkle over here. Yeah.
so the industry grew in 2023 by 2.6%. So not as big as it did during COVID, but still grew. But 90% of new game revenue was only 43 titles. So in the entire industry, 43 titles.
Yeah.
And most of those were some sort of live service game.
This has been a coming for a long time, and this is why that B and C tier, like I've said, have suddenly become really popular because if you want those story-driven experiences, that's where you've got to go. You've got to go to like the RoboCop game was good. That was on special recently. The Alan Wake, while it's a big title, I'm gonna get you your own citronella candle. Like I'll get you, I'll get you some deet, some raid or something. Need to spray it on yourself. Um,
Got him anyway.
and yeah, they do love Dermy. It's so hilarious.
Mosquitoes might as well be CEOs as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. Just clap him down.
Yeah.
Cabela stuff.
Big Game Hunter video game CEO edition would
Yeah.
be fun.
And then
Bobby Cotty.
yeah, easy. Yeah. You have to go into the underground levels for that.
Yeah. Oh, Randy, and
yeah.
Randy Pitcher, you go to all the strip clubs looking for Randy.
Randy's anyway. Doesn't matter.
I don't mind. I actually met him. He was
Yeah,
really nice.
he
I
is.
really, I liked him a lot, although he does do some weird shit.
Yeah, to stick on point, right? When you got that
Oh,
kind
what
of
are we
money,
talking about?
when you got that kind of money, you do. But no, like you have all these big titles. They're the ones bringing the money. GTA still bringing money in hand over fist. COD, FIFA. You have these
Okay,
tentacles
I'll
of
get
the
some.
industry.
I'll get some more numbers then. So since you've gone on to GTA,
Yeah.
5 games, 20% of all playtime. I don't know how the
Can
measure's
I
done.
guess them?
Okay.
So what's the question?
27% of all playtime in
Yeah.
2023 was 5 games.
Fortnite, GTA, maybe Roblox.
Yep.
What would be the other ones? I mean, Club Penguin's dead. That would have been up there years
No,
ago.
not poke.
Minecraft.
Yep. One more to go.
Oh my god.
Fortnite, Roblox, Minecraft, GTA 5, and
I know. I'm gonna.
do you want a clue?
Yeah.
It had TV series recently.
Or Fallout.
Oh no,
No, League of Legends.
no, wish it was.
League of Legends.
Actually, Fallout 76. No, I wish it wasn't actually. No, League of Legends. Yeah. So, you went
Yeah.
straight past Arcane. Have you watched Arcane yet?
I don't watch League of Legends stuff.
No, I didn't want to either,
I
but it's
know,
good. No, it's so good.
But it's
Okay,
interesting. But
stop pointing at my notes.
look at the demographics of those markets.
Yes.
There's all kids, and this is one I was watching South Park the other day, and they made a really good point in the episode. Was adults
GTA 5.
but so many kids play GTA. Like
Bad parents. Stop it.
especially role playing servers and stuff like that. They play with like not PewDiePie, but like all those kind of influencers.
Remember when we thought PewDiePie was the worst thing on the internet?
Yeah. Jesus.
Good time.
Yeah, good times. But yeah, no. How do I say it?
So 5 games are 27% of all playtime.
And so South Park had this great episode where they were like talking about like OnlyFans, like teachers doing OnlyFans, right? And so they meant obviously they covered how teachers only a minimum wage, they got to make money, and then everyone's like, oh, kids can't access the OnlyFans platform anyway. The internet, like the data shows that all people who access stuff on the internet is over 21. And he's like, and he just said, oh, it's over 21. It's like, come on, man. Like, and Kyle being the conscience of the show goes,
Yeah.
it can't be true. Like, it's an open secret in the industry that's not true.
Weird how porn sites weren't part of the Australian government's ban.
I mean, technically, porn sites are covered by a thing, but it's just so
Yeah,
easy
just
to get
click a
around
button.
it. Yeah, so easy to get around it.
Yeah. So anyway, so
But yeah,
anyway,
my moral story
yeah.
is, I'm not surprised by any of that list.
I got some more. 50% of all time spent playing new games, and these games less than 2 years old. 50% of all time was spent playing sequels, mostly sports and Call of Duty.
Yes.
So FIFA, NBA, whatever.
So we
all
ran
those sports games and Call of Duty.
We had an activation recently in Sydney.
Half of all time.
We had to run FIFA most of the time. The other ones that did okay was fighting games and Tekken and stuff, but Mario Kart's still the king. You want every setup with all whether if we left the setup alone, it was almost like an experiment. If we left a Switch there and it had Mario Kart on it, by the time we
That'd
turned
be
around,
played.
Mario Kart would be being played.
Yep.
And so Call of Duty, not surprised, can't run that at an expo though. But FIFA, if I put FIFA up, and it's not FIFA anymore, it's FC, it's EA Football Club 25.
Yep.
I got it cheap. It was $50 or whatever. It's
cheap.
it's a good game if you like soccer, believe it or not. Like it actually plays well. It plays a lot of
I
the
still
things
play
that.
Sega Worldwide Soccer '97.
Oh man, I
I
play
renamed
Sega Soccer Slam is
I
the best one.
renamed all the players Hawthorn players, so I got like Trent Croad and that in there. This is
Nice.
what I did ages ago, and I found them a save on that on my cart. I
Yeah.
loaded that up, and it's like
Ca-
Daniel Chick kicked to Trent Croad. I was
Campbell Brown gets red carded every match.
just before him actually.
Yeah, he gets
So,
yeah, he's
yeah.
off every match. But no, Sega Soccer Slam's a king El Diablo, man. Anyway,
Remember when he punched out McPhee and he came off the ground? His dad told him off because he got the wrong player. It wasn't McPhee that hit him.
yeah. Do you remember? Do you remember when
That's a
they?
good dad.
Do you remember when they protected Matthew Lloyd from him because they knew what was coming?
Yeah, he retired.
Yeah,
Anyway, so
yeah.
he's no. So it's 50% of all time spent playing games. Games that are released within the last 2 years
Yeah.
was on basically sequels,
Yeah.
right? The other one is of games that are over 5 years old.
Mm.
Some of the ones say Apex Legends,
Yeah.
Overwatch 2, and
Yeah.
Fortnite.
Yeah.
Give you some of the numbers. Apex Legends has 18 million players per month still play it. Overwatch
Huge,
2
huge in Japan, funnily enough.
Overwatch 2, over 6 million players
Yeah.
per day,
Yeah.
and Fortnite over 3 million per day. Although I think that's gone up recently because
What is it got because of Godzilla?
they've added a bunch of stuff. They do.
Brandon even said that because basically at the moment Godzilla stomps around the map.
Yeah, that's pretty
So
cool.
yeah, and I said that I'm like,
Yeah,
because Call of Duty did similar thing as well. I'm like, man, the idea of playing Call of Duty Warzone, so you got to watch out for all these people on the floor, on the ground level, and then suddenly, oh, by the way, Godzilla's here. I love that concept. I wish that would like. Do you remember the game Evolve, where one of you played
yeah,
as the
yeah.
monster and four of you played as
And
the hunters?
for well,
Well,
hunters,
I
yeah,
think you could do a PvP game where it's like you both have to complete an objective,
yeah.
and someone plays as a monster. I would
That's just
love
an
that.
elaborate version of that game on the Wii U.
Yeah. Nintendo Land. Yeah. Whereas
Mario's
one
Mansion
plays as a
thing.
ghost. Yeah. Luigi's Ghost Mansion. Yeah.
Yeah,
But like, but
it's a good concept. I
I
don't know
love
why there's
Ace.
not
Yeah,
more of that online.
asymmetrical multiplayer is so fun, and that's why Dead by Daylight. As much as I don't like Dead by Daylight, I think it has those legs because some people only ever want to play survivors, and some people only ever want to play as killers. Like I watch Brandon play, and he's the king of killers. Like he knows all the shortcuts. He knows how to bait it out really well. He's just got that right mindset for it. But I find that game tedious. But I think the concept is great. I think you could do that with Godzilla. I mean,
A
if you had,
Predator one would be cool. Imagine a Predator one where
there
you've
is a
got
Predator one that's exactly that.
yeah, but you got Arnie in that.
Well, that's exactly what they've got. It's on Concrete Jungle, not Concrete Jungle.
What are we talking about?
It's on PlayStation. It's a shooter, and I played it with Bronco a lot.
Oh, it's on play. Oh, that's
My
why I
mate
haven't seen
Jared.
it. Yeah, cool.
Yeah. So basically it's a four-man squad. You got to
Yeah, but
take.
are you Arnie and
You
Duke in
can
that?
be, and yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
And so that's the skin you can get. And then basically it's the same missions. So you're either in the city or you're in the jungle, and you've got to go do all these jungle objectives. And one person plays as a predator,
That's
right?
kind of cool. Yeah.
And so the problem is the predators are either overpowered. Like it's one time we did it, we had like an actual phase guy, and like we managed to take health off him, and we were happy, right? Because he knew how to do it
Mm.
all, blah blah. But then there's some people who just thought, oh, yeah, I'll just run at the random people and get him, and then it's like, yeah, just load him up with shotguns, and he was dead. So, but like I love that asymmetrical stuff done well, and I think
Yeah.
there's opportunities for it to be
Well,
done well.
that's the numbers I just said there are why. Just to go back to the Ubisoft thing.
Yeah,
That is why you get like XDefiant, Concord. That they are all desperate. They want to be Fortnite, Roblox,
game as a service.
LOL, Minecraft, or
I
GTA.
think that
They
video
want
about
all
Roblox
the time.
recently, like as well.
Which is a pity because you've got to remember games are telling stories for a
Yeah,
little while, and even if you have a 2 or 3 hour game that just hits really hard,
yeah. Call it.
yeah,
I still say original Modern Warfare, not this remake, but the original Modern Warfare. Go play the single player. It's 4 hours long.
yeah,
It has an amazing juxtaposition of. So one of my favorite scenes in it, right, is you start off the map and you're playing as the C-130 Fortress. So you're basically
mm,
flying 50,000 or 38,000 feet in the air. Nothing can hit you, right? And so you're just lining up. Oh, Tango's over there. Ooh, got him. Ooh, that's one for
mm.
the highlight reel. And it's just like that black and white grainy footage.
I like the white phosphorus
Yeah.
Spec
In
Ops.
Spec Ops.
Yeah,
And then midway through the mission, it goes, "Oh, okay, that's the end of our support. We're out. See you later." And it cuts down to you on the level as an SAS fighter, and there's like four years, and it is mud, and it is blood, and it is screaming, and it is explosions, and it's shit going off.
mm.
And your juxtaposition of the kind of the serenity, the kind of the mundanity of
The
the violence,
godlike
of the mundanity of the
everything's going
violence
down from the
compared
top. Yeah,
to who you are as a human being on the ground. One wrong shot from upstairs, and you were literally missed,
Yeah.
right? And it's just like so, it just seals those things in. That's why Call of Duty One, like I say, so Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare One, the original, legitimately one of the best games we've ever created. It was so good. And then a lot of the same things came up in Titanfall because those guys moved on to Titanfall,
You have
and then they did Apex Legends.
you have a game where you're in the Middle East right now in some parts and you're wearing a press vest or you work for World Kitchen and
Yeah, you just got to learn how to outrun snipers. Yeah, yeah.
have drones.
No, yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. They got the World Kitchen guy with a drone.
Anyway, so with those numbers, look, those numbers there, like the live service games, when they hit it big, they hit it really big and they dominate. It's a pity because there is so much space left there
Yeah.
for other games, but they all want to be a Minecraft or a Fortnite or
Well,
Roblox.
like I say, that's where THQ Nordic is filling that gap. 20, 30 grand to develop it maximum. 20, 30 mil to develop it maximum. They'll make 50 million on it because they'll sell 1 to 2 million copies of it. They make their money back. They're profitable. They keep going. That's where a lot of these mid-tier Japanese ones get past. EDF still sells enough for them to keep making EDF every year. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Well, but Ubisoft knows he's going for a big Hail Mary to get one of them. Now they're gonna release 100 of them, waste a whole heap of people's time, waste
Yeah.
a whole heap of devs until they do. Now
Well,
let's look at
this is Sony. Sony got rid of Jim Ryan. Suddenly they're back on a Sad Dad games, which is their bread and butter, and they should
hmm.
be sticking to Sad Dad games.
Here's a solution though.
The final
Sorry, I
solution.
can't do it. Well, it's funny. Elon Musk is
I'm just gonna press stop on the record now.
he's said that he's going to start an AI game
If
studio.
by D&D and yeah,
He's buying all that stuff, but well, he's probably got a lot of money now. He runs the USA, while Trump
yeah,
just sits up and
President Musk, yeah.
just piss farts around and does what Trump. No one say that. So he wants to make games great again. He said there are too many game studios that are owned by massive corporations. Somehow Elon Musk is going
He's
to
not a
fix that.
massive corporation, yeah, true.
So he said he's going to start an AI games industry. So that's basically a combination of everything gamers don't want,
Yeah.
except a lot of people like
And,
Elon Musk.
and he'll get government subsidies in to help him run it as well.
Yeah, well, yeah, he can just sign those himself.
Yeah, yeah.
Now,
Who needs NASA when you've got SpaceX?
Now, Adam Jensen on, I still can't say his name, Adam Jensen on Twitter did actually tweet Elon Musk saying, please buy the Deus Ex license. So I did see that and go, yeah, okay, I'll forgive him if he does that.
Yeah.
If we get it, I don't actually, you know what, even if it's AI, I just want to see another Deus Ex before I
Well,
die.
if
Because
the-
the older I get, the less likely it is I'm going to see another Deus Ex game.
if there's a game that could be made by AI and still be relevant, it's Deus Ex. Thematically.
Yeah, well, just actually, you know what? Can you use AI to remake old games? Anyway, it's a yeah. So anyway, so that's. But no, I think the real solution. I was joking with that. The real solution is we don't make movies where we hope everybody watches the same movie the rest of the time, right? We make movies
Well,
that
I
are
don't know. Have you seen Marvel stuff?
okay. I suppose yeah. Maybe that's broken their brain, but the best ones are like a short, sharp thing that just impacts you. Even like Arcane.
Oh,
Arcane's a brilliant, but 2 seasons, and they said they're not going to make a third, even though they could still make money making more. They could Activision or EA
that's
it
good. I think
and
that's
just
good.
yeah, they've stopped, right? They could make Arcanes now until the money just gets milked out of everybody watching it.
If there's one, okay, so one of the only things I'll take away from Arcane, and this is something that not a lot of people realize. So when people think of animation, they think of like say 3 or 4 countries. They think of America, they think of Japan, they think of Korea because Korea does a lot of the
Yeah.
animations in America.
North Korea for all the Simpsons episodes.
Endo Hockey. But France has always had artistic animation. They did the Smurfs.
Isn't it all
they did
porn? Oh, okay, yeah.
that too. Fantastic Planet. I've seen Fantastic Planet. Where it's like have you seen Fantastic Planet where all the big blue aliens have like a bunch of humans that they keep as like pets and
Oh,
stuff?
yeah, you got a pen?
Yeah.
I just
Where's
need
it?
to take some notes.
I forget what planet is in French. It's probably just planet. Anyway, moral story is they've always had a pretty strong animation industry. Like a lot of stuff out of Europe comes out of France, and
Okay.
so they did Blue Eye Samurai. They did Arcane.
Blue Eye Samurai is actually pretty
They
impressive.
did Arcane.
Although I did have I do have a bone to pick with that. I really enjoyed Blue Eyed Samurai. It was edgy and
Yeah.
it was fantastic. But the bad guy,
Yeah.
the accent,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have would no. That was one where the Frenchies didn't get it.
Yeah.
So anyone that's seen it will know there's no way that person would have had an Irish accent.
Yeah.
In that they say, nah, the Frenchies, you got that one wrong.
And their fellow
I'm deeply
their
offended.
fellow Celts slash Gauls, you think they'd get it, and you
Uh,
think they hate the English,
yeah,
but
well, that's the thing. I mean, they're the common enemy.
yeah,
Frenchies, get your act together.
but yeah, but
Remake that.
but if anything, like God bless them. Like again, I'm glad that we're seeing. The one thing is now that America's homogenized its art and thing. Now everyone's like, oh wow, we're getting all these unique things coming out of different countries. I'm like, yeah, because you're not sitting in America. You know what I mean? Like you're not relying on the same factory farmed animation. You've got people who actually want to put their back to it. I wonder who did Cyberpunk. Oh no, that was Trigger.
Trigger, yeah, it's
That
Japan.
was
Yeah.
Japan. So again, another one that tells you, you can do it if you willing to
But
put the
that
hard
was a
slog in it.
Japanese one working effectively under a Polish
Yes.
dev studio. So you did not America, but then yeah. Anyway, it's good to see.
Yeah.
Actually, the rest of the world needs to tell stories anyway because we
Yeah.
get too much
Well,
America. Too
this
many
is
movies about how awesome their military is and how
yeah.
everybody's a secret
It's
CIA agent. Every ex-CIA agent saw some dangerous dad
yeah.
who's just ready to go mad and protect his family. And
Yeah.
like, come on,
Yeah, that's that. That's that.
it's like you.
Look,
This is such a mythology.
this is my argument with like when they talk about like Little Mermaids. Oh, they made Little Mermaid black. It's like it's less about that. It's more surely there's stories we could tell from African nations, from
Yeah,
First Nations peoples. Let's tell their stories. And that's that game. There's that the Xbox game's coming out. It's basically Louisiana black people telling their stories. I'm like, yeah, fuck. I'm sure they've got some great mythology
this
between the Haitians and the French and the
so many stories can be told, and so that'd be my problem with the Hamilton stuff,
yeah
right? They said that was Lin Manuel Miranda, obviously when he was dealing with the CIA people that set the whole thing up. They said let's make it all non-white people in the
yeah
thing, but that really tells still a white story. So
yes
they should have told stories about the black
Virginia,
experience at the
yeah,
time, slave experience.
yeah. Harriet
Um,
Tubman. There's
in,
plenty
in
of
the in the same way because
absolutely.
the whole appeal of it was just done so well.
Yeah.
It was really well
Whereas
presented.
I
They
think
could have
it's different.
presented any story.
I think it's different when you think of stuff like the Wiz when it was like Michael Jackson doing the Wizard of Oz. I think that's different because it's driven by those communities to say, hey, we're doing our version of that classic story. I think that's a bit different. It's like, hey, we enjoyed it too. Let's do our version. I think that's a little bit different. But when it's like, let's just take old white people fairy tales and put black people in it. Congratulations, with tick boxes.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah,
there's plenty of interesting. Like if you go
that's
if
the
you start
opposite
to
of
look at
cultural appropriation. You're appropriating the people into
it's
your
cultural
story.
osmosis, right?
Yeah,
It's osmosis. It's colonialism by osmosis,
hmm.
and so I don't know. I think that's where there's so many interesting, bayou stories and stuff. That's where I mean, again, Mafia does a great job of that. It balances that really well. I could talk about Mafia 3 all day. Legitimately, Mafia 3 would be my game of the year
We're
if we
talking
could
about
go there.
movies all day. Let's get back to a game one.
Mm.
So anyway, so on the AI one, I had a follow up there because the Black Myth Wukong director
Speaking of, yeah.
actually. Yeah, yeah. I didn't. Anyway, I'm just this is the next thing on my list. So,
Did you see that cool poster of Japan's playing China in the World Cup qualifiers?
mhm.
And it's the picture of the arena in Osaka. I'm pretty sure it's in Osaka, and it's Goku flying, standing above it, like in Super Saiyan mode, and like their interpretation of like Sun Wukong standing on his pole, ready to fight him. And I'm like, bro, do you get it? Like it's literally the same story. Goku is Sun Wukong, right? He's
Okay.
Son Goku,
I
right?
don't. I don't know the
So,
background to it.
okay,
Yeah.
the original Dragon Ball was Journey to the West, done by a Japanese guy, right?
Yep.
The Journey to the West is the story of Sun Wukong, the Monkey King. It was the Monkey King told, but instead of it, he was Monkey King was an alien. Blah 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 blah. Right, and so
Blah, blah, blah.
it's Toriyama doing his silly version of
You've
it, and
just
then
done a George Brandis
and
on
then
me.
get 15-year-olds to show their boobs and stuff. So like
Straight
that's
up.
Toriyama. That's Toriyama, right? But basically,
Sounds very Japanese,
it's
but yeah.
it's the same character or it's the same archetype facing off against each other with the slight
Yeah,
culture
okay.
difference. And I'm like, it was such a cool like it works on two levels. It works on a level of yeah, this is our fairy tale, that's your fairy tale, but it's also it's the same fairy tale, just that it's the mirror of each other. It's really cool. It was one of the coolest things I've seen in a long time.
Aside from a lot of the stuff that the Japanese won't apologize for,
We don't talk about that.
is there
They find no comfort in it. Like, yeah,
is there? I mean, I do wonder if potentially over time the US Japan alliance is doomed
yeah.
in the face of a Japan China alliance.
Well, the big one is they're really cracking down on so Nippon Steel wanted to buy one of the US Steel in America, right?
Hmm.
And Biden blocked it and Trump blocked it, right? And so they're not the US Steel is not owned by the American government. It's not even the biggest steel manufacturer in the thing. But they're like, we can't have sovereign states doing that kind of stuff. And it's like, do you remember the last time America stopped Japan getting the materials it needed to do stuff? Like, do you remember what happened last time? there was a little awkward thing called the Greater Southeast Asian Prosperity Sphere, right? And the Americans stopped them getting fuel.
We sold them steel.
Pig Iron Bob.
Yeah, we sold them. Anyway.
You're,
Hey, let's get back to my gaming thing. So the Black Myth Wukong director said, I can't really see myself welcoming AI
yeah, of course.
um, voices.
There you
That's cool. Cool. Anyway, because I think you're going to lose the element that people care about when they're interacting with characters in games, which is human chaotic emotion.
Yep.
He basically said that AI can pretend it can do emotion, but it can't really do emotion,
I,
which is an interesting one because yeah, it copies and it
I was on the radio yesterday. Actually, I recorded a radio spot for Triple R. So Headley's
mm,
Triple R's got his Christmas one coming up, his New Year one, and I
you're
gave him a fan of
cheating
the
on
year.
me with another
Oh,
podcast.
I mean, I've been doing Headley's for years. Anyway, that sounded worse than
You've
I was
been
going to say.
doing that what?
Anyway,
No wonder you get all those
basically,
free flights off
but
cringy.
he said that he goes he was like, so what do you think about AI? I said, look, AI is the problem for two reasons. Number one, the corporations will gladly put AI in where they can because they want to save money. They don't want to pay these pesky human writers. They don't want
Yep.
blah blah. But AI will at this point AI will never do the job of writers because it can't understand what makes a human experience a human experience. It can look at the lexicon of human experience and distill it down into here is what the my algorithm in my little fake brain thinks is what this is trying to achieve. And it's like no, because you don't understand the chaotic nature of human emotion. I said to him, the first company or country to perfect real AI will rule the world.
Yeah, but
But it's a
it's
pipe
not.
dream. Yeah.
It's pretend at the moment.
Yeah,
It,
and I said that to someone. So we as long as we hold our standards, expecting real stories, and that's the problem we face is that people have a lot of content, but do they have a lot of good, engaging, heart-driven content? And I think that's where a lot of, I mean, we've seen literacy rates go down. We've seen all these things, like a lot of across the world. It's not just in the Western countries.
mm.
As like these people then want these dumb, simple stories because that's all they think that they have.
Oh,
It's yeah,
they no, they think they want dumb, simple stories, but the ones that connect with you, when it connects,
yeah,
they really connect
absolutely.
hard. Okay, another quote that Direct had is, yeah, you have to really care about the story in the world that you're in,
Yeah.
and I think that matters. Now that's true with movies,
Mm.
books, every entertainment. If you've got a connection, an emotional connection to what you see, and this is like I talk a lot about Arcane. Arcane has a bit of that at the end. I talk about Cyberpunk Edge Runners, which absolutely just nails that.
Yeah.
Um, can AI produce? It's like they think, can AI actually produce art? Can AI get an emotional response from what it does? Now, I don't believe it can, because I
Well, nothing outside of that visceral, like like if you don't want to see a puppy being stomped on, you know what I mean? Like, okay, well, no,
yeah,
that doesn't emotion.
it'll be like effectively a one of those pickup artists
Yeah,
pretending that they know what they're doing, sort of thing. That's all AI is going to be,
yeah.
and it's going to be doing things by a formula.
Yeah, by exactly by the nature of that, like
Mm,
I mean, this is the problem. Like the only people falling for that on the internet is old boomers on Facebook. Do you know what I mean? Like, and
mm.
but the bigger
Other
concern
bots as
are
well.
the bots. Yeah, well
Yeah.
that's why a lot of these people still pay influencers to be that forward human quote unquote face of thing. A lot of influencers aren't real humans, but like
More and more, yeah, more
yeah
and more, especially female ones, are AI generated.
yeah.
Um, yeah, and even if you do have a genuine female influencer in your messenger, you're talking to a guy.
Yeah.
Um, so
Well, I was talking. I was actually. I was
Alana Pierce did a good video on that months ago about the background on that and who you're actually talking to.
I was watching a thing and yeah the OnlyFans chick with Joker and good luck to her like I've never had anything against anyone buying OnlyFans like well like being on OnlyFans it doesn't bother me but she did say that she goes I think the point where I knew I'd become successful is that suddenly I wasn't answering all my own messages
Mm.
like I'd hired people in to
Oh, so
help
I
me
don't I
filter
don't
stuff.
answer any of my messages. Does that make me? So-
The only fans girl of the Australian webcam
Woohoo!
industry
There
yeah
you go. I mean, all right, cool. So now, I'll go on to some more gaming stuff because we have crapped on tonight. So,
we're only 30 minutes for what it's worth
really, PS5. Yeah, sometimes it runs ages when I write
yeah
down. Sometimes I don't. PS5 has got some PS1 themes in there, including a startup screen, which looks fantastic.
yeah.
It's a PlayStation 1 startup screen for the 30th anniversary. So apparently, go into theme settings or
I will
something.
say, yeah. I will say the funniest thing at the moment
I do
is,
like the old orange Sony logo.
yeah. so all of the PS5 Pros that were the special edition 30-year ones have started to hit the sites for $1,500,
The
two thousand
scalping,
dollars. The
yeah.
scalping.
But
So they've obviously
there's nothing compared to the retro scene with the scalping. Holy moly.
they've received their deliveries. So yeah.
Yeah.
But the second part of that is PS5s at the moment are real cheap. I was at Costco. So at the moment Vodafone will give you a PS5 for four ninety nine with two controllers, and all you got to do is put it on your existing phone plan.
No,
And it's like paid off over 12 months, so you just paid in one
that's
sitting,
actually not bad considering it wasn't so long ago you couldn't get one.
right?
You had
And
to
so and then
tell a child to
yeah,
get
and
it.
so then even at Costco, the PS5 Slims were, and this is the one I said before the Slim was what 519,
Okay.
619, something like that. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm like, pretty good. Like, yeah,
Well, if you got PS5, get PS1 startup screen. Limited time. It's limited time. That's annoying.
yeah,
I do think that Microsoft should pay attention to that and bring back just as limited time for the anniversary, Blades.
blades.
Bring back Blades just for a little while, Microsoft.
Um,
You peaked, but you peaked at that point actually. That at that
yeah,
time in Xbox 360 when you could
yeah,
have automatically downloading your
yeah.
what do they used to call them? The little games.
Xbox Live Arcade,
Yeah, the
XBLA, yeah.
XBA games. Yeah, that was your peak,
Wasn't it?
Microsoft.
I've
It's
said a
been
lot of
downhill from there.
people really underestimate that era. And I said, yeah, because you got to remember, it was curated by Microsoft. Now, I mean,
Everything's an app
the
store now.
Nintendo store is awful.
Content.
Nintendo store is the worst.
I told you that would become an app store.
Yes, that's
I
true.
said become an app store. I could tell you, see it coming. No
PSN,
seal of quality on that joint.
yeah, PSN and Xbox aren't too bad. You can usually find what you're actually looking for, and I know Sony limit how many different listings you can have under the same game for DLC, and so um like there really is a shift for that because I miss being able to go, oh yeah, it's going to cost me $30 or however many Xbox Live points, 2,000 points or whatever for this game, but I know it's curated, and then we used to make a big deal of it, and I guess obviously the indie industry has grown beyond that. Good for them, but I still miss the idea of curated content, and I guess
Yeah.
Microsoft has become so hard to work with
You
as a
see that shit
publisher.
like Zoomer and Peggle and that.
I mean,
It's like
Peggle,
great.
Braid. I mean, my avatar for
Oh,
years
Braid
with
was
Xbox
fantastic.
was the guy from Braid. Like Braid was one of my is still one of
That's
my
a
favorite
sad
games.
boy game.
It is a sad boy game.
Mm.
Like it's Mario, but if you've been listening to The Cure, like and so instead of instead of it's basically pictures of you by anyway. It's disintegration. It just starts off anyway.
I understood that.
Yeah, you're old. You get it.
Yeah, so PS5, grab your PS1 themes and that startup screen with the orange Sony
Yeah, it looks
triangle logo
good.
looks sweet as hell. Did you see the Devolver Digital when they had the Game Awards? They had their Devolver Digital delayed awards.
No, but read about it afterwards.
They recognised the brave developers who delayed their games into the next financial year, and that was actually really. I won't go through the whole video here,
Yeah.
but it's definitely worth tracking down. Devolver Digital have a funny, good attitude. They're good on Twitter with their tweets about stuff.
One of the very few people that I get a hey out of when I walk through conventions every single time is Graham from Devolver. Our customary PAX interview didn't go ahead this year because he didn't travel to Australia for PAX. But
Oh,
usually every year at PAX we do an interview together, and then I saw him at Kyoto and Tokyo Game Show and stuff like that, and we are all having drinks together and stuff like that. And I've always liked his attitude. Like he's got more money than God now. Do you know what I mean? Like he'd be worth
yeah, but
millions upon
see,
millions.
But you can do that and not try and go for live service next fortnight, can't
And
you?
that's so the one live service game they had was Fall Guys, which then Tencent bought off them for millions upon millions of dollars.
Yeah, well,
But then
that was a flash in the pan. That was just right time,
it
right
was
place. That
cool. It
one.
was unique. It
Like
was
Among
against
Us,
yeah,
right place, right time.
absolutely.
COVID happened. Everyone needed
Yeah,
something to play.
yeah. I was saying,
Um,
yeah. I told you about Saboteurs, didn't I?
no.
Yeah, you should go. You should go check out Saboteurs in
Oh,
Melbourne.
the escape thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
no, I was thinking game. Yes, you did tell me about that.
yeah.
Saboteurs. What's Saboteurs? Just so anybody's listening.
It's basically an escape room thing,
It's,
not themed on, but like inspired by things like Among Us and stuff like
yeah,
that.
no, I'll get my kids to check that out.
Full disclosure, hashtag ad.
In fact, my daughter didn't have her birthday because it was middle of her uni exam.
Message the boys. Yeah,
Might
yeah.
actually get it.
Again, full disclosure, we are working with those guys very intimately, so I won't pretend that was not anything but a
That's fine. That's
a
fine if it
pee
feels
plug.
good.
But yeah,
But let's. Oh no, you won't find your way into the
yeah, I'm
Cabela's
not.
big CEO
Yeah,
Hunter games.
I'm not getting a source of adrenochrome from that.
I
Like,
think
yeah,
you're already there. You're the bear.
yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, where was I going? The Devolve video is worth
Yeah,
tracking down.
Devolver's good. Yeah,
Um,
I've got a lot of time for
but
Devolver
see,
too.
they did show that you could. They said they had running backwards, Broforce.
Yeah.
Was that the Broforce M, or am I making a mistake?
They were Enter the Gungeon. They
Gungeon,
were
the really good small games.
Hotline Miami. They were Gree. They were Gris. Sorry,
Did they
because
do
it's Spanish.
Pedro?
Yep, Pedro.
Yeah,
Yep, that's them. My friend Pedro.
just
Um,
really just all top notch. So
yeah,
they're
they
obviously
did
really good curating
Katana
games.
Zero. Katana Zero is a really
Yep.
good game. Yeah.
Yeah.
They have such a great because they look at these projects and they obviously people pitch to them a lot, but they did Cult of the Lamb,
Yeah, and they're
recently.
loaded with cash. How about that? So
Yeah,
so you
so
don't have to make Fortnite to make a lot of money in
yeah,
games.
yeah,
Good on them. I think there's a message there.
yeah. Well, because this is the thing, right? Because we've had this conversation about indie games before. It's like, but if Devolver's releasing, is it really an indie game? Because they are a publisher in the grand scheme of things. But I think their aesthetic and their mindset when it comes to the
You
release of
would
their
swear
games
all
is
the games were made by them because they have a similar,
tone.
yeah,
There's a
something about
Devolver
them
tone.
similar.
It's the
Yeah.
same when you talk about like certain art, certain cinema movements, and people like Blumhouse and all these kind of like thing. They're all
Well,
yeah. They
Nolan has a certain style.
absolutely
Um,
Scorsese, like Tarantino.
Villeneuve has
Yeah,
so it's a signature thing. As in gaming, it's like what you say about reviewers, right?
yeah,
Reviewers have a certain style and
yeah.
taste, and the key is to find the one that matches the style that you like,
I think it's
instead of being this one size for
it's
the
a
whole world
it's a
thing.
trust exercise, right? So if you go, yeah, let's use Jim Sterling as an example, right? So if you find Sterling stuff fine, but I can disagree with Jim Sterling. I can disagree with Yahtzee. Yahtzee I find lines up a lot with what I say, but sometimes we disagree. Think, but he's one of the very few who gave Saints Row 2 Game of the Year, and that to me cemented the fact that we have similar
I
taste.
remember when Joby gave Halo 4 a bad review
Yeah,
score. They wouldn't talk to him.
they were, yeah, and that
Well, they
happens.
say
I
that. They
mean,
wouldn't talk to him.
uh, you,
They
you,
met him and walked off.
maybe you should ask about
But
Steve.
he, sorry,
You should ask Steve about Sony. Yeah.
yeah, he was on the ball though. JB got that one right.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, Halo 4 wasn't the worst Halo. Halo 5 was worse than 4.
No, but it was a sign of things to come.
True.
Yeah.
That I agree on.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Um, okay, nothing. Did you?
No, I'm still
Uh,
at 5 minutes.
yeah, nothing. Animal Crossing Pocket Camp Complete
It's
is
come
out,
out, yes.
and there's two people in my house have been pretty happy with it.
$10.
It has a lot there.
Yeah.
There've been a lot of happy little exclamation noises I've been hearing
Yeah.
from across the place.
Yep.
Nah, I think what they've done, it's good to see Nintendo have taken that back from the stupid ass free to play
Yeah.
thing into an actual game product. And from what I can tell from, like I said, just overhearing people
Yeah.
playing it, they love it. They've pretty much nailed that.
Yeah.
I think it's good to see something going back from free to play, try and milk the people, back to actually being a paid game
Well,
and actually
I
having
think
good
instead of
product.
going, okay, I mean, because the answer for a lot of these gacha is you spend all this money on the gacha and then they just go, oh, by the way, server's dead, see you later, rip. And that's the end of the game. Whereas they've gone, well, look, we don't want to support anymore. It's not sustainable from this point of view. But what we'll do, we'll release this once-off update first thing. We'll track it occasionally. We'll bug fix it every so often. You pay $10 once. You can transfer your save file over, which is huge. It means you can just keep playing your save files. You've got
Hmm.
your villages, all that kind of stuff. So if you have invested the time into it, you haven't lost all of your progress. And now it's just the end game. And if you want to just continue to play in this world, you pay $10 once and thing. And people go, yeah, cool, $10 once, no worries. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I think realistically, that's the way they should all go, but they never do.
Yeah, well, I mean, they all try the free to play. They all try the big.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a strategy. Go free to play. Try and see how you go with all the
Yeah.
microtransaction stuff. If it doesn't work, just revert to an actual
Yeah,
game.
yeah.
Maybe that's the
When in
way.
doubt, yeah, yeah.
Have you gamble because they're gambling with that. Have you gamble? It doesn't pay off, and nobody's buying whatever you're selling
Yeah.
in the game. Just go fine. Got some people like it. We'll just make it an actual game. Anyway, they've done that successfully. Now we're at 43. Do you want to go short or do you want to talk about this? You sent me this Roblox thing the other day.
We got
So,
5 minutes. We'll just chat about
okay,
it. Yeah.
just quickly. Now, Roblox, this is a video you sent me about Roblox and kids that are developing games on Roblox. And it got me
So that's
thinking,
what Roblox is. For those who don't know, Roblox is basically a platform by which, like a set of tools by which you can create games and share them across. It's like Dreams, a Little Big Planet, but obviously more fully featured and more kind of. There's a lot more people behind it.
looks like BattleBit,
Yeah.
basically. So, Anybody's a bit
Yes.
older. What's interesting is Roblox and Minecraft want each other's audience.
Yes.
Minecraft's audience is skewing older, and I think the average age is in the 20s
I
now.
would believe it.
Roblox is younger, but Roblox wants to get in the 17 plus to 25 sort of
Yeah.
range, and Minecraft it can't grow up. It
Yeah.
just can't force itself to grow up, which is really sad. Now, thing I was going to talk about Roblox just quickly, and this is a problem everywhere I believe in tech. Roblox, if you're a kid and you write a game Roblox, because you write your own game and publish it effectively to a
Yes.
Roblox store, and I might get some of this wrong, but this is how I understand it. And you'll get paid for that with people who buy it in Roblox
Yeah.
in Robux, which is their currency.
Yeah.
So,
So
um,
straight away you're paying the company script. Like
yeah.
let's call it what it is.
Yeah, in the old days when would they describe it to the mining companies
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
you lived in the mining town, you had
Yeah.
to spend the company
Company script.
money,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
everywhere. So, but anyway, so kids can do it, and Roblox takes 70% of that money. So the kids only,
That's yeah. So that's if you're cashing out from the Roblox that you get, and because normally $300 US would roughly work out to I think it's like 3,000 Robux or something
you have
like
to
that.
make $300 before they cash out.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are going to be under that. No, and YouTube's $50, isn't it? I
I
think it
mean,
is.
Twitch is 75.
Yeah. So anyway, so they're 300. That's high, and that's for a kid who
Yeah,
might be 8 or 9.
75 or 3 months. If you haven't been paid out in 3 months, I'll pay you out.
So you got a whole heap of little kids on Roblox, and a lot of them are young,
Yeah.
writing games, doing a good job. They've got a future, although they're being trained to have a shit future
Yeah.
at Ubisoft now,
Stand
right?
up for themselves. Yeah.
But so you've got them, and then they have 70% of what they make off that game taken by Roblox.
Yeah.
Now the other thing is that Roblox charges them to have their game listed in
Yeah.
the highlighted areas
And you have
to
to
buy.
bid for that. It's not a flat rate. You bid for
Yeah.
it.
Now, what it brought up was the idea that effectively that's child labour,
Yes.
taking that much off children because they're under 18, so they can't even enter into a
Some of
legal
them are
contract.
under 12. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
so
But
they
yeah.
can't enter into a legal contract. And this flies under the radar because nobody really thinks about it. I did, honestly, I never thought about it until you
I
pointed it
thought
in.
you I thought you would get a kick out of it
Yeah.
in the wrong way, but like yeah.
Oh yeah, because my kids used to love playing Roblox.
Yeah.
It is a little bit of a infested by pedos.
Yeah.
That's something
Well,
that
there was also in the video as well. The kid was saying like you suddenly you'll get these older people trying to
yeah,
steal
it's
stuff.
it's definitely a thing. No, because I remember kids used to play it. The other thing is people will steal your stuff non-stop
Yeah.
if they can. So it's a little bit of a wild west in that one as well. But the thing is, now Roblox wants to go older, and no doubt their CEO wants to get an older bunch of
Yeah.
developers because at the moment, if it gets out too far that they're ripping off 8-year-olds,
They'll have to pay up.
then that's just not a good look. People won't be comfortable with it. Anyway,
You'll have to move to Kentucky.
thing is, Roblox isn't that unusual. This is I was thinking about it afterwards, and it's a great video to look for. I think it was More Perfect Union did the
Yeah.
video about it. Now, and they do some really good videos. I watched a bit of them, but I hadn't seen this one. All the platforms are doing kind of that, but not many of them take 70%.
No.
That is a hideous amount of money after charging you for stuff. It's like now, if you look at now the Roblox CEO, by the way, is worth $1.8 billion.
Yeah.
But
The
if
company
you
itself was 18 billion.
now on YouTube, we did a lot of work on YouTube to try and build up New Game Plus, and there'd be lots of people like us have put a lot of content on YouTube that gives YouTube all the stuff, and I reckon we might be lucky to make $50.
Okay. Once a year, I'll get sent 61 bucks from them. Yeah.
But so because it never because unless you are one of the big 1%, you don't get much
If
out
you
of
haven't
these
got a
platforms.
million subs, you can forget it. Realistically.
So we were effectively working for YouTube to give them content to show people for nothing,
Yeah.
right? So I mean, not quite as bad as Roblox doing that. Another one is Spotify. So Spotify, the CEO of Spotify makes 345 million per year. So he can happily those two can happily slot into Big Game Hunter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Big Game Hunter. But now, to actually make $345 million a year, you would need to stream a song on Spotify 115 billion times in 1 year to get the same amount the CEO gets, who can't make music. Oh, maybe he can, but he's not like a Mick Jagger or something, right?
Yeah.
So,
Mick Jagger, Jesus.
I just thought of it. I was listening to TikTok earlier at the gym. So anyway, so now only 30% of emerging artists on Spotify make over $10,000 per year. So that's poverty pay for 70%, almost 70% of all the artists trying to get
This
and
is what,
Spotify.
and then the flip side of that is they'll go, well, we'll tour to make the money instead, and then Ticketmaster gets them.
Yeah, but I mean, it's always been a little thing in the music industry where the touring was always where they did try and make the money. But yeah, Ticketmaster's jumping there, but they still make that off the touring. I think the one my kids saw recently set it off along those lines. But no label would sign them up, so they're just doing it themselves. So they're probably doing well. Good on them. Point is, the point is about those three examples: Spotify, Roblox, and YouTube, and they're all like this. They're all effectively slave masters now,
Yeah,
modern day slave, because we're all providing, and even we're doing it right now for Podbean and so Spotify, a podcast goes on there, goes on YouTube. We're providing content for not much money.
yeah,
So now we'll get other benefits of it, and the business model that you've got and I've got is not reliant on this. It
no.
is part of. I won't go into details of that.
This is an expression thing for us as much as
And
anything else.
I know SEO people who have a podcast about SEO stuff that they do, and so they don't make anything of that, but it's for their business promotion. So
Yeah.
I get that. But what we're doing with these platforms, we're all doing it, is we're providing at effectively like slave labor to all of these tech companies so they can have content, so they can be
Yes.
fill up, and so that their CEOs can be worth billions of dollars and make hundreds of millions a year. And that's something I think needs to be. The government's been looking into these, banning kids
Yeah.
off TikTok and stuff. I think it's time the government looked into that and said, are we, should the money is skewed too much towards the top 1%, like in real life on these platforms? We need to start actually taking seriously how these tech companies are paying or remunerating the people who are making content for them, considering that even somebody who makes content that doesn't give you much has still contributed
Yes.
to that platform's success
Yeah.
simply by the weight of content on there.
And this is a conversation I've been having recently, right? So I have a binge account. I didn't mean to have a binge account, but I got it as part of a
No,
deal
I
or
think a
something
binge
else,
account.
right? Uh,
You're not an old lady. What do you need that for?
no, no, no. It's the easiest way to watch Taskmaster at the moment. So
Okay.
we're watching Taskmaster. It's good. You should watch Taskmaster. But
There's another
basically,
way. Arr.
yeah. Anyway, but basically, the one thing I've really enjoyed with it, and this is going to sound strange, I miss curated content. And when I say that, I don't mean algorithmic content where it's like we're going to serve you more of the thing we want to serve you, or we think you're going to like. It's like here's a couple episodes of this show. Here's a couple episodes of this show. They'll do like a block. Oh, this is the episode. This is the block of porn stars into, what are they? The storage wars
I
and
like
the
watching porn stars, both types. I
yeah,
think they're
yeah,
very
yeah,
good. But I think that curation, right? Now, when they do curation, remember years ago in games, you'd have matchmaking, and the
yeah,
matchmaking would be accurate,
yeah.
pretty much. And then suddenly all the game companies decide, no, that's not good because that doesn't keep people playing much, so we've got to change it. And all the social media companies used to have a timeline feed, and then they decided, no, that's not good enough. We can't just tell you what's happening. We need to change it for whatever reason.
I get that. I mean, most of my feed from Facebook, especially nowadays, is stuff that I have not followed. It is not
Look,
people that I follow.
and Twitter's full of little threads like and stupid ass videos about someone this person caught their partner cheating on them and so
Yeah,
it's real dumb lowest common denominator bullshit and they can tell me all day they want I don't watch that shit right but I'm getting served it all the time and I can tell you my ads on YouTube are gambling. I get one for incontinence pads. I don't fucking wee myself, YouTube. Calm the fuck down. So like
Sleepy Dermie.
I'm in control, all right? I get gout. I don't have fucking gout. So they're not. So they're doing all this curation, but they're not really.
No,
They're just like
throwing shit at the wall, seeing what
yeah.
sticks.
So and that's one real problem with it. If they're going to curate, they're not curating. They're not doing anything intelligent using all this technology they got in any way to
Just
provide
remember,
something that
Discord
you
is the
want.
biggest snitch out of like. It's funnily enough because Discord is known
Discord.
as the
Remember
biggest.
Discord? They said it was all full of white supremacists and Nazis,
Yeah,
so that they could basically all the advertisers get in and
yeah.
just start
And
rifling
that's what
through
they've
the
done.
data.
That's what they've
Yeah.
done. I promise you, you type something in Discord, it will show up in your feed.
Discord now is
Yeah.
trying to get me to play Fortnite. I'm like, yeah, when have I
Oh,
played Fortnite?
yeah.
I did when it first came out. And I finished fifth in a game. I was all excited, and I thought, this is all right, but I'm not playing again.
Yeah.
It was too random. I always thought it was too random a game. But
Well,
anyway,
they've updated the shooting. I think. I think they've actually made the shooting an actual game now.
I tried a few times. I hid as long as I could.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, but point is, yeah, I get heaps of ads for shit that I have no interest in. It's obviously got nothing I've ever searched for. I'll get ads for like dishwashing liquids and shit, and it's like
What,
it's
you don't wash
just
the dishes at
I don't
home?
watch dishwashing. Well, no, but I don't watch dishwashing videos. That's what I'm getting at. It's all made up. So these companies they're all getting us to give a whole heap of content for them so that they can just give us a whole heap of shit back,
Yeah.
basically.
I've always, to kind of cap it off, I've always said I'd be okay with the idea of a Google Glass or one of those kind of like thing if it wasn't just going to be used to sell me shit in the end. If it was actually going to be used to benefit mankind and be like, hey, here's data sent in from the meteorology bureau, or here's data from the traffic thing, blah blah blah, and it's coming directly into your glasses or to whatever, and it's to help you. I would be fine with that,
Uh,
but it's not. It's always to say
I'd like one that reminded me people's names.
you are bad at that.
I'm
Can't remember people's names.
so bad. Or,
I walked up.
or
I shook
what
his
I
hand.
was just talking about.
Jeremy, you don't even know my name. Like, yeah,
If it detects if I pause and goes, you were just talking about this. Oh
yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah, make it handy for it. It's like driver assist in a car.
yeah,
Just
yeah,
do,
yeah.
do old man assist. Anyway, so these companies, I think the government's been concerning itself recently about TikTok and under 16s and all that other crap. I think it needs to say if you're worried about protecting kids under 16, I think the Roblox thing and generally the way tech companies have been able to use all of us as free labor to build up their value and their CEO value, I think it's time the government looked at that
Yeah.
because that I think is this thing. And if you've got 8-year-old kids and that's actually happening, who are making games and then Roblox has taken 70% of the money they make, that's ridiculous because they can't even enter into a legal contract
No.
with Roblox. So that is actually a really bad thing, and the government needs to look at that seriously and understand what the issue is. Now, I understand why they don't, because
Yeah.
I didn't even know until you sent me the video, but I think it's time that we had a serious sort of like look at what is going on in these platforms.
Well, when you think of gig economy, you think of the poor Indian blokes who are here as students, driving, you're driving your food around in a taxi, basically. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what we think of when we think of that.
Yeah, yeah.
But we don't think of, these kids are, you go to the first page of, in the community area, it'll say literally jobs available. You know what I mean? It's like, well, you shouldn't be calling it a job. If it's a job, then why aren't they getting paid for it? You
Yeah,
know?
oh, in America they got the reverse internships where you pay
Yeah.
them to an internship, so I don't think we've seen them there yet. Hey, something was pointed out to me the other day when I worked in Singapore when I was out of uni and
Mm.
I was an expat. And when white people go out of the country, it's got an expat.
Yeah.
If you're not white, you call them migrant.
Yeah.
It didn't occur to me
That's
until I
classic.
saw
Yeah.
that, and I thought, oh, that's
You're
interesting.
expatriated because why would you go to a worse country? Like, yeah.
Well, that's a lot of
Yeah.
implications there.
Yeah, yeah. No, no,
So
no.
anyway,
It's all,
so
no.
yeah,
That's one of those woke things I actually agree with. The, the
yeah.
the language there is very telling.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is. Mind you, I never thought about it. When something's pointed out, it's worth thinking about.
Yeah,
And in fact, in this case, to bring back thing, the government, I think it's been pointed out now that Roblox is ripping off young kids, using them effectively as child labour, and that needs to stop. And somebody needs to actually like
yeah.
look into that
Tell
because
you what, if
all platforms,
yeah,
even Spotify and even all the streaming services, they are. The other guy from Breaking Bad, Aaron Paul, he
yeah,
doesn't get paid for when Breaking Bad's viewed on
really
Netflix.
doesn't get
Was in his
residuals.
contract,
He doesn't get
so
residuals.
he
Wow.
doesn't get anything. Yeah, so if it's
Cranston definitely gets residuals.
played on TV, he gets, yeah, but see, they'll take any excuse
Yeah.
to interpret contracts that
Hollywood
way.
accounting, yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's
this is that thing when you used to do profit share. That was why George Lucas made so much money off Star Wars because he kept the toy rights.
yeah the toy rights, yeah,
Yeah,
which would never have happened since.
no,
So anyway, so I think the Roblox thing where they're taking that much money off kids, 70% of what they make, if they've made a game that people buy, I think that is absolutely fantastic. If you got a kid who's like
yeah.
under 12 and they can program a game that other kids play for on Roblox, they need to be rewarded
If it was
so much
if it
because
was a
they are guns at
I've
programming.
never been against the 15 to 30% of a Valve or a Steam. It's a lot, but I'm not against
You're
that. I think
providing the platform,
platform,
yeah, the
yeah,
bandwidth, the
I think
storage,
that's all
yeah.
fine. I genuinely, for all that it provides, I think that's okay. 70%, absolutely unacceptable. Like absolutely,
That
and
is
when
stealing.
you start earning the lion's share of someone's creative work, that's when I got a problem.
Yeah, 70% is stealing, and that's something that needs to be looked at. But this is where if the government's worried about protecting kids, that's one area they can look at.
Yeah.
Anyway, I thought I'd throw that in at the end. And also video game devs before we end, get into Big Game Hunter CEO edition because I'll
Well, C-suite big game.
kickstart it.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
put some money in. I'm
yeah.
already on FBI
I'll,
watch
I'll,
list. I might
I'll,
as well
I'll,
join
I'll
some
I'll
more.
go get you a bunch of Hunter footage. I'll send it through to you tonight, so you can upload it with the podcast.
And just photocopy.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Photoshop, sorry, photo. Geez, I'm getting old.
Photocopy.
Oh boy,
Get out the
it's like
cigarette.
midnight.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, leave me alone.
As long as someone doesn't feed you after
I'm
midnight, you
off to
can
have
chat.
a cup of Bonox.
I thought you were going to say a colonoscopy, but that's all right. That's a different thing.
Probably have to at some point.
Oh,
But
you're
anyway,
at that age, mate. You should.
I got friends. I got
You,
friends that are doing that
you don't
shit.
go to the doctor anyway, so yeah.
Nah, why would I? I'm not sick.
Old, old. That's why old men die. I'm just saying it. Just remember, kids. Old men die because they don't go to the doctor. Don't be a hypochondriac. And if you feel unwell, go to the doctor because that's why old men die.
Men don't have to go to doctor. Women go and do a doctor enough to average out.
Yeah, 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 they go in so much they can't get pain meds. I've said it to you. If you went in there and said, "Hey, I've got bad migraines, I need pain meds," they would hand over fist give
I'm
you
an
the
old
shit.
white man. I
Well, yeah,
demand fentanyl. There you
old
go.
men do not go in to the doctor. So if you're going in and you're saying you're in pain, you must be in pain. That's their logic.
All right,
You
if
know?
I come into the next podcast and I'm tripping balls
Yeah,
and I've
yeah.
been to the doctor and I'm on
Yeah,
fentanyl,
yeah, yeah. Damn you, Sacklers. Anyway, we better leave it there. Glitches on Saturday. If you listen to this before things, Saturday 7th. Next one's Jan 4th. Might have some cool stuff coming up with one of our sponsors soon. So I'll send you a message. I'll make sure I publicize it on this podcast. We'll have to figure out what we're doing for Christmas as far as recording these go. Maybe we do a 2 up in advance. We can do a game of the year one if you want. And, you know,
oh yeah, I'll
get
bet
get
it.
all the kids to chime
I'm,
in.
I'm
Get all the
voting Sonic, so I better play it first.
yeah,
Be
right.
a legit Geno.
Yeah, gotcha.
Actually, no, be a legit Geno. I won't play it.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I must say I've stopped playing Stalker. I just don't enjoy that video game. I'm sure I'll get flack for that, but I just do not enjoy it.
I want to play Big Game Hunter CEO edition.
Alright, well,
That's my game now.
I'm gonna go play the hunter mode I have at the moment. It's got an Australian map now, so you can just like it's great. It's Australia, like, and all the animals that are there are exactly the same ones that are in Australia.
Loading Canberra level.
Yeah, yeah. I went to the airport the
Leave
other day.
Melky alone.
You're gonna get me kicked out of the airport next time.
You got us kicked out of
Yeah,
Parliament.
yeah, nearly. I stopped. I stopped the second time. That was George Brandis. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Um,
I've never seen so many security guards descend on us.
I mean, it's funny.
That's another story.
It
Let's
was
end
funny.
podcast.
Yeah, end the
But yes,
podcast. That's enough.
yeah.
Thank you very much. NewGamePlus.tv, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, New Game Plus TV. Check out Galia's video on the Nintendo Museum. It's very cool.
Oh yeah, it
It
is.
was
Yes,
very good,
yes.
interesting thing. I do like that you made the front page of the site. Very well done. Because
Yep.
that's the kind of content we should be putting there. And yeah, we'll see you guys later.